Hey everybody, it's me, Laren here, and this is my 23 questions. A quality about myself, which is super strong, is that I am very loving, which, giving, nurturing displays the sense of loving, but I am very loving. Whenever I would go to job interviews, I would always say, loving is my strength, but loving is also my greatest weakness, because a lot of people can take advantage of me just because I do tend to open up my heart and see the good in people. If I would start over and do this all again, I think I would do it sooner. I was too shy or embarrassed or just didn't have the self-confidence to be able to put myself out there. When you're putting yourself out there, you're just putting yourself out there for all types of judgment. So being able to just do this and not care what people think, and it's a big risk, but I always knew I wanted to be an entertainer since I was younger, and I wish I started sooner, but I was bullied and I was made fun of, and I let those words get to me, and I just closed up like a little shell, and I was very introvertish. So it took a lot for me to be able to step out of my shell. But the one thing that always helped was dancing. Dancing always made me feel like I could be anyone I wanted to be. And that's why whenever I feel sad or lonely or any type of emotion, even happy, I always love dancing. I was born here in Baltimore, Maryland. It's funny. When I was born very, very tan, and my sister and my brother came out super pale, and we all are different in our own ways. So I think it's very eclectic to be able to have the mix, but I am the middle child in my family, so maybe that's why. But I look more like my mom. What is my favorite genre to dance to? That would be reggaeton and contemporary. It's either I like to be weird and funky with my movements and just let go and just release myself, or I like to be very isolated and very technique based and be able to undulate my hips, my body, and just let go freely in that aspect. My favorite genre to sing is actually, I like a reggaeton beat, but to be honest, I make up songs of situations that I feel in the moment. Music is so therapeutic, and even if I didn't think I was a singer, I made beats more than I made music in the sense of singing, and I fell in love with the words and what I made, and I learned how to sing from that. Woke up one day, and I think this is the coolest thing, is that I woke up one day and I just decided I'm gonna make music with no background in making music or anything. I did choir when I was younger, but that's it. And I was able to craft all of these songs with a whole bunch of stems and very intricate pieces, and I just thought, wow, what an awesome thing to be able to do. And it was so therapeutic, because then I used the pain, what I was feeling in that moment, and I turned it into a beautiful piece of art. My biggest heartbreak. Listen to my music. I think we all go through heartbreak. I think that's just inevitable. It's hard. It's hard to cope and go through heartbreak. You feel like your whole world shuts down, but guess what? Just keep being hopeful, and love will always come your way as long as you project love out into the universe. My favorite song I've ever written, I think my recent song I've ever written was Better Than Before. I was really, really proud of myself because I didn't know if I even wanted to release it, because it was so vulnerable, and I was in a time where I didn't like who I was. I like shedding a snakeskin. I was looking at all of my ugly and my weaknesses, and we all have them. It's just whether or not we can face that war and look in the mirror and be able to accept who we are, and then work on who we are to become a better person. So I would say that one because I'm proud that I was able to have the strength to put that out there, but I get a little emotional. It's more so that I wanted to make sure that I didn't want anyone to feel like that they were alone going through hardships, and it's really hard to get through them by yourself. So, I mean, I have a great support system, but at the end of the day, you're always fighting the war in your head. So only you can understand what you go through, and that's okay, because being torn makes you know yourself better than before. Am I going to be performing one day? I would love to perform one day. I'm very shy, so I love dancing, and dancing, it's so funny. I'm such a shy person. I'm the person who, like, you have to get to know me, I have to get to know you before I start opening up and getting all weird and goofy and just out of the box and myself. But dancing helps me feel like I am that person no matter what. I would dance and perform all the time, sometimes in front of audiences that were right there, no stage, and it was just me, just soloing it for 5 minutes on the dance stage. Actually, I have a really, really funny story about this. I love you, Mom, so much, but I gotta tell this one. So I was performing for an art gallery, and it was just me performing. That was it. They booked me, and everyone showed up, and I forgot my laptop, so I had to use my phone to record it. Not to record it, sorry. I had to use my phone to play the music. So everyone's there. I plug in my phone to have the music ready to go, and I get on and I just kind of like walk around the people just to kind of say like, hey, like I'm about to perform, you know, let's gather around. And my mom calls me, and I accidentally like turn it on, and rather than taking it off, I kept it in, and in the whole speakers, I just hear, honey, I'm running late, but I'm gonna be there, okay? I'm gonna be there, don't worry. And everyone's just looking at me, and I'm like, okay. It was very funny. So then I had to perform, of course, with all of that, but it's just fun things that just happen in your life. Love you so much, Mom. A weird talent that I can do. Well, some people have heard me do this, but I can bark like a dog. No, I'm not doing. I am not barking like a dog on this. I'm pretty good though. I don't know how. Don't even ask me. I guess I was in my room one day and I decided to bark like a dog. I'm pretty weird, and that's all. No comment. Something that people normally don't know about me and can't tell in person is that I am blind in my left eye. I was born blind, and I know everyone always says the test, alright, how many fingers am I holding up, cover the eye, but just to kind of share what it's like, it's just one big blob of colors, and they're all meshed together, and it's just one big mess, and that's it. I can't really define like what is what. Nothing can fix it. I've been to the doctors, but I don't know, Elon Musk, I'm rooting for you. My favorite movie is the Titanic. It's always been. It's never changed. And recently, actually, I was on the plane flying back here, and the Titanic was on. And thank you, American Airlines, for putting Titanic on, my favorite movie. And I was watching it, and I realized I haven't watched it in such a long time, and I realized why I was so connected to that movie. And it's because there's a scene where after Rose felt like she wanted to kill herself and jump off the back of the boat, Jack comes and rescues her, and then they hang out after. And she just talks about her life. And she just said, I just want someone to see me. And he looks at her and says, I see you. I see you. And it just made sense to me. I just wanted to break down crying, because all of Rose's life, she just wanted to be seen. And that's how I feel with myself. All of my life, I've gone through relationships, partnerships, everything, friendships. and even myself, and I just want someone to see me for me. And seeing someone doesn't just mean I see you, but it's like I will nurture you, I will be there for you, I will trust you, I will be there in your deepest, darkest moments. Like, I will break you out of your shell and allow you to be yourself. And that's just so powerful, and it took me so much strength not to start crying. Didn't want to be that girl on the airplane, so just kept it to myself, drank my hot chocolate. Gosh, a dating story. I would say the craziest, we're gonna need some wine if we're gonna talk about this stuff. So the craziest dating story I would say is my biggest walk of shame, I call it. Oh geez, all right, glass of wine please. I was dating this guy, and I like to hold out before I know someone to have sex. And so we were seeing each other for a good 2 months, and we saw each other pretty much every day. And I called him up one day and I said, today is the day. So he was a lot younger than me, and we went over to his house. He lived in the basement of his mom's house, and he couldn't have girls over or anything, so he had to sneak me in. And then that night we spent the night together, and I fell asleep. My mom calls me. I never told her where I was or anything. She just knew that I got off school, and then she didn't hear from me, which was weird. So I was just having a moment, I guess, in my life. And so she calls the cops because she puts out a missing report. So the missing report goes out, and one of my exes is a police officer. I wouldn't say ex, but a guy that I used to see. And he got the call, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna go. This is hilarious. I have to be on this. So the cops knock on the door, aka my ex, and they say, you know, we're finding a missing report. And all of a sudden I just hear his mom just like, can't say his name, we'll just name him Henry. Henry, there's a missing report. Do you know what this girl's name is? You better get up here right now. So he goes up, he talks to the cops, and he comes back down. He's like, they need to like see your face to make sure that you're here. So I go up and I put on my clothes. I go up and I open up the door, and there's just this moment that I see my ex, and he's just like, hey, so how you doing? It's been a while, huh? And I'm just like, oh my God, please let this not be happening right now. So then we talked for a little bit, and he was like, so I talked to your mom. And I'm like, oh my God, you had like, let me just like put a paper bag over my head right now. So then I go back in after talking to him, obviously because I wasn't missing. I go back in to talk to the guy I was seeing, and his mom was like standing there at the top of the stairs, just so mad. She just starts yelling at me like, how do you think you are? It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you wake up the neighbors, you wake up me and everyone, and you're here with my son. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. So I'm not one to be as spontaneous as that. And it's so funny because when you do something that's super spontaneous like that, life is like, let me just add this to the fire or to what's happening. This will be hilarious. And you know what? We're just gonna step back and throw some popcorn as we watch all of this fold out. And that's how that happened. It was like, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Yeah, so that happened. Worst experience. With a guy. Have I been in love? Yes, I am in love now, and love is very hard. It attaches you very quickly. It's funny, I saw this meme, and it said that you don't choose connection chooses you. And in essence, that is kind of what love is that sometimes you don't choose love chooses you, and then you decide whether to nurture that love and let it blossom. And let it unfold. So I'm a person, like I said, loving is my greatest strength. So I love being in love, and it's just an amazing feeling. And I love being able to take care of someone and be there for them. And that's really, really important for me. And of course, I love my family so much, and they're my best friends.
You get up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
When I get up in the morning,
Yeah.
the first thing that I do is make myself a hot cup of cocoa. It is my favorite thing, but I actually just recently started doing affirmations in the morning, which, what you doing? My favorite drink to have in the morning, I'm not a coffee person. Coffee is actually really bad for you. There's signs. I love to do research, so just a pre-warning, caffeine, when you intake it, it does kill cells, deteriorates the cell growth within your body. But when you actually put caffeine on your skin, it does the opposite effect, and it actually causes cell proliferation, it's called. It's a tongue twister, speech impediment when I was younger, so some words, but cell proliferation, which means cell growth, so the renewal of new skin cells. So I drink hot chocolate. But I home make my hot chocolate, so it has all those rich dense from the cacao bean, all those nutrients, so you want all that magnesium and zinc and everything in your diet. My favorite food is crab dip. I don't know, just something about it, the cheese, the texture, the dipping. You can just keep eating it and eating it and eating it, and it just never gets old. But it depends. Some crab dips I've had, some other ones I can't, like the one up the street. Yeah, they've seen my name a lot, let's just say. I've been ordering that DoorDash. How many times? I exercise almost every day, but I like to do 3 days a week at least, just because in research it does say that you need at least 3 days a week on one body part. I pretty much only dance or body weight. I don't like to do anything too crazy or too intense, but just enough where you just feel good and you feel active and you feel like you really worked on that muscle group. My favorite color is green. My birthstone is green, as well as I have the heart chakra tattooed on me. It means love for the world, yourself, and others. So that's the most powerful chakra, I think, to myself, because it's the one that I've needed to heal on the most. So that one is my favorite. So green is my favorite color.
What's your aspirations as a music writer, score composition, producer? You have wearing a lot of hats. Mm-hmm. So what is your direction? What is on the other side of the rainbow? Mm-hmm. You have a dream. What is that dream? Mm-hmm. I can hear that.
Yeah. Well, obviously my dream is I love the process of doing things. So in the back of my mind, every single song that I make, I feel like I get better at it. Specifically with producing or even just finding the range in my voice. And I think even just telling a story and being able to be there for other people and being able to hold their hand through the hardships, I think that is really special to me. When someone reaches out like, hey, I loved your song. Like, I played it when I wasn't feeling really good about myself, and then now I do. And that to me is like, wow, like I was able to make a little change into a person's life, because those little changes are going to add up to the bigger ones. So number one, number two, and then number three is honestly to be able to collaborate with the bigger artists, focusing into their audience, being able to do collabs, whether it's I make a beat for them, produce a piece of music, am I singing with them? I mean, there's so many different things I could get into, publishing, performing. It's just a matter of, I just love doing this. I love connecting, and whatever that means, that I'm just gonna keep doing what I love. And I feel like when you're able to believe in yourself, you're able to make other people believe in you, and then people believing in you will eventually believe themselves as well. And it's this like just this beautiful just ripple effect. And I really think music is just a connection to the soul. So yeah. kind of car do I drive?
Yeah.
I drive a good old Infiniti, and
Yeah. What's going on with the Infiniti?
she is amazing. She's got some personality in her, but you know, I feel like all cars have a little bit of personality in them. So.
Do you have any animals?
I do have animals, so I have a 3-legged cat. My camera's running out of battery, so that's why I had to be a little pause, but my cat's name is Leo. I rescued him when he was younger, and he lost half of his tail and his left paw, which is kind of like ironic because I'm blind in my left eye, so I don't have my left eye to see out of. He doesn't have his left paw, so we really connect on that, but that's it. So thank you so much for this and listening to me, and I hope I inspire you in some sort of way. Feel free to reach out, ask me any questions. This was actually a lot of fun, and let's do it again.